Hello everyone, I am Erika of Beadingschool.com and you are watching Coffee Time with Erika, the first one of the year 2026. Cheers to lots of beading, lots of fun times together in the new year, and please let me know if you can hear me, if you can see me well. I see lovely Tammy, so good to see you. I hope that you can see me. I hope that you can hear me well. You should be able to watch Coffee Time with Erika on the Beading School YouTube channel and also on the Beading School Facebook page. I see Irene, I see Jennifer, Alison, Kristen saying, hello everyone, can see and hear you, yay! Asta, Molly, Lita, Marceline, and indeed, lovely ladies, wishing you a wonderful, sparkling new year in the Beading School community and beyond. Today, I would like to welcome you to the very first Coffee Time with Erika of 2026. A whole new year, lots of new inspiration, maybe some new colors and shapes await us. A new chapter in our lives too, surrounded by beads and beauty. I hope that every one of you spent the past weeks with loved ones in peace, in health, and in happiness. Enjoying maybe something extra during the festive times. Maybe a meal that requires more preparations or more special ingredients. Maybe you have slowed down a little bit, or on the contrary, going to a concert or another event. And when it comes to beads, we can also celebrate on our bead mats. Maybe we celebrate with finishing off some tasks that we have been putting off. Maybe we celebrate by reaching for a very special component that we were keeping for an extraordinary jewel. Or I actually celebrated by completely rearranging my beading I would say, I can't say anymore the beading room, but at least the corner of the living room where I am creating. So lovely ladies, before we would continue, let me know, how did you celebrate on your bead mats? What did you bead? What did you enjoy the most? Did you reach for some very special components? While I am waiting for your answers, I will tell you a secret. There is a Beading School Academy theme box right in front of me. To be specific, actually two of them, two different ones. One that we will see together next week during the unboxing for the new Academy theme, and one that I am just curating today. And well, I worked on it already during the holidays, but now I am finalizing it. And that is already for the May and June Beading School Academy team. There is one in between the March and the April box that is at the moment the responsibility of the treasury. So you can see from this little secret that how we work and how much do we look to the future when it comes to your beloved Academy themes. And in the meantime, I see more of our lovely beaders joining. And Kim says, hello, just arrived. I am so glad we all get to be together again. Indeed. And Lita says, I am working on Juliana's Alchemy of Love. It is such a magnificent piece, dear Lita, and I'm curious to see how you will arrange the components. Juliana's jewel was originally a bracelet consisting of different motifs, but giving you lots of possibilities to actually put together the elements exactly in the way how you would like them to see. Some of you made pendants, some of you made earrings, so a bracelet is only one of the many options. Jeannie says, after Christmas, I made sure everything was finished up or frogged or organized as needed to get off to a great 2026 start with my beads. Jeannie, you can be so proud of yourself. I think many of us wish to follow in your footsteps. Antoinette says, I can't stop beading Ruxandra. Oh, Christmas tree tutorial. It's such a nice one indeed. Erika is rearranging her house and beading corner just as I did. The Erikas are very much in alignment, I can see. And Kata is also beading together symbolically with Lita. Jessica says, I worked on my mini challenge jewel and the beautiful bracelet for the box. Beading now, module C. Linda is already working on her calendar jewel by Chloe, the Queen of Frost and Starlight. And Lita will make a bracelet and a pendant. And in the meantime, Miriam, Ula, Andy, so good to see you. Carol, please everyone say hi to Andy. It's such a rare occasion that she is here with us during a video, which I am very happy for because she is more prone to take some well-deserved rest. But now Andrea is here with us for the very first coffee time with Erika. And as you might know, you probably know, she's my main partner in crime at beading school. And while I am responsible for the creative part, then she is mostly responsible for the treasury. And of course, our responsibilities intertwine in many different ways. But yeah, when it comes to the treasury and what happens there, then it is the amazing job of Andrea. So everyone is saying hi, I see. Thank you so much for your kindness, ladies. So I would like to indeed thank you for all the amazing, inspiring jewels that you created and showed during the holidays in the Beading School Club. It is heartwarming to see that beads were part of the holiday season for many of you, just as they are part of your everyday lives. And I would like to also specifically thank each and every one of you who participated in the Beading School Advent Adventure and showered us with so many sparkly bead orders. The team is working with great care on your orders as fast as they can, while of course sticking to the quality that you got used to over the past 6 years, 7. And we are making sure that you will get your packages as soon as possible. I would also like to thank the beaders who decided to get an early bird Advent Adventure ticket already for 2026. These minutes, the early bird option is going away from the bead shop. And for now the normal bird option will be available until sold out. So it will come with a bit less, but still very generous perks and extras. So lovely ladies, I'm also posting the link to make sure that you can grab your ticket now. I think since we also need a little bit of time, there is still an early bird available, but go for it because this okay, it's changed, it switched to normal bird, so the early birds are gone and now normal bird tickets are available. And thank you so much, lovely ladies. It was an intense and wonderful time, and I also absolutely loved how we were celebrating in the club together. Thank you for loving the recipe book. Thank you for your jewels, for all the Secret Santa packages, for reaching out to each other, for creating friendships, because that is what, after all, the biggest pleasure of belonging to the beading school community is: the friendships. So, lovely ladies, before I would show you finally the entries for the everlasting KISS Beading School Academy Mini Challenge, I would like to congratulate someone from our community. I would like to congratulate fellow beading school beader Laura Embry. Laura won with this amazing jewel one of the most prestigious beading contests, the Battle of the Beadsmiths. And Laura, I am so incredibly happy for you. And I feel so lucky and privileged to have seen you growing and you sharing your talent with us, every team. So I can't wait to witness what's next for you. Big congratulations. And I'm also super happy to see how fellow beaders are showering you now with their kind words. Carol says, congratulations, Laura. What a wonderful, admirable accomplishment. You deserve all the accolades. And we can really recognize Laura's signature style here in this beautiful jewel. So remember, every time you are beading something from Laura, one of her tutorials that she generously created for the beading school community, you bead a piece of the talent that just won the the Battle of the Beadsmiths competition. So thank you, ladies, for all your kind words to Laura. I hope that Laura will join us and will see all the kind comments that you are writing her. But now back to the challenge. So we are closing now, saying goodbye to the everlasting KISS Beading School Academy Mini Challenge. Memories live with us, however, even if the title says everlasting, no kiss lasts forever. And today it's time to say goodbye to this Beading School Academy team with the beautiful sparkling golds and also the occasional green and a little bit of purple and also the black. Traditionally, we say goodbye by admiring the jewels created for the mini challenge. And I think this, how we live through the mini challenges, is also a powerful symbol of how we should live our lives. We strive to show our personality through the colors and shapes that we choose, and we do our best to execute every stitch perfectly, selecting every cabochon bead and component as carefully as possible. We strive to celebrate, after all, however, the journey and the lessons that it teaches us, instead on focusing focusing on the outcome, because winning is the cherry on the top, but the journey is the main reason to celebrate. So let's see now the challenge entries. There were 16 jewels submitted in time for the challenge. Unfortunately, we also got entries that came in late. Unfortunately, we could not accept those. We will see today who won the talent competition, the bead weaving and the bead embroidery one. We will also select together the lucky winner of the challenge. For the talent winners, we had some specific components that you had to use, and also it had to be an original finished jewel. So let's start with Katja. Katja created a peyote bezel around one of the low-cut cabochons in this beautiful green sparkly color. She adorned it with pearls, with beads, and chose a perfectly fitting component to adorn it and create a love garden. Congratulations, Katja, this is very, very beautiful, well balanced, and very fitting the theme. And then we have here Anita, and I admire each and every one of you so much who strive to create something asymmetrical and organic. We were talking about it, how love is a garden, and we might not know in the beginning what might grow out of it, what might thrive in the sunshine, and what might feel better in what kind of company of other flowers. And the garden is a very symbolic, very powerful symbol here during this theme. And that is what I see in Anita's beautiful jewel. I see the garden, I see how the shapes are growing and intertwining. And I also love seeing your kind comments to each and every one. Lita is complimenting still. Katja says she says so pretty and elegant. Beatrix says it's beautiful, so free and elegant. Angelina says Anita's creation is so cool. And Sophie also sees kind of a sea creature in it, and I couldn't agree more. And Beatrix says, so extraordinary, full of motion and beautifully connected. And then we have here Beatrix. And Beatrix created an amazing choker. I love how she incorporated the historic filigree for the central motif. And when you look at it, then it truly looks like a miniature painting, as if she would bead part of Klimt's masterpiece on her bead mat. There are two more little frames created from bigger beads and the Preciosa baguette cabochons on the sides, joined with the feminine flowery motifs also from the painting. And I think Beatrix has such an amazing feel for interpreting the themes in her own way that I always really am looking forward to see her creations, because I know that when I see the piece, I will witness how she truly feels into the topic. Cindy says it really represents the theme. Lutka says fantastic. And Molly says everything is so gorgeous. And Sophie says boxes of pure, delightful jewels. And Lita says, I knew this was a Beatrix piece as soon as I saw it. And then we have here Lita. Isn't it funny that now it's the second time that I read someone's comment and then her piece is coming up, but it's a surprise. I don't know that who is coming up. So now we have here Lita. And what I love about this piece, Lita again, by the way, reached for shibori, and that do I sense it well that you are working more and more with shibori, Lita? That you are loving the material. But anyway, what I absolutely love about Lita's piece is that how the painting, it represents the masculine, the feminine, the dark, the sparkly, the geometric, the garden. Then Lita's piece also consists of two distinctive parts, yet melting, growing together organically, coexisting in a beautiful way. One part is the garden, one part, and the feminine, one part is more like the strength and the masculine. While we, of course, all know that the feminine is also strong and the masculine can also be full of emotions. And Orshika says, Lita, this is gorgeous, so vibrant. Indeed, like a more vibrant interpretation of the original, more classic painting. And Lita says indeed that she loves the shibori and it's how she does the bead embroidery. And Sherry says, I love it, Lita, love the use of shibori, perfect. And Miriam says, ladies, you are so talented. I love so far all the pieces. And Loretta says, it looks like a painting. And then we have here another painting from Samia. And what is becoming, or has already become, a signature element of Samia's jewels are beaded beads. And this lovely lady manages to surprise me that she uses different elements for her beaded beads than I would normally reach for. And this time she incorporated in her beaded beads preciosa, tiny, fancy baguettes. So all sides of these rectangular beaded beads are sparkling with preciosa crystals. And then she also has a frame of the historic filigree filled with a peyote piece and emphasized in the middle with a Miyuki tila bead. Also, the bezels of the low-cut round cabochons are very nice, dear Samia. And Tangerine says, Samia, this is so elegant, beautiful. And Ginny says, these are so overwhelming so far, such inspiring ideas. Didi says, Samia, this is absolutely beautiful. I love the frame. And Jessica says, the beaded bead queen. Love the design. Andy, I have an idea connected to, you know what, right? When talking about beaded beads. We need to talk about that if you are still here with me. But one step further, and we have here Terry. Terry somehow always says that I didn't bead as much as I wanted, or I stepped back, like she posted recently. However, she is one of the most effective beaders, I would say, creating so many beautiful pieces. And you know, there is no piece from Terry that would be executed only with half-heartedly. So it does not matter if it's a small piece or it's a bigger one, but Terry executes all her pieces with utmost care, creativity, orientation towards details. It is just amazing how how her creativity is never ending. She loves the Tilla family, working with the Tilla family. So I hope she was very happy now that she could play so much with the Tilla beads. Jen says, Terry, this is stunning. Cindy says, beautiful, Terry. Molly says, wow. And Beatrix says, Terry, simple and so beautiful, like always. And Ginny says, Terry, great job once again. You are always doing such amazing designs. And then we have here Carol and bead embroidery. So Carol included the beautiful hand-pressed glass cabochon in the middle, and then added 4 preciosa octagon crystals all around. And then her gardener is also growing to the sides and also around that focal cabochon. Carol invested lots of patience and time to create a full jewel, sewing down the cup chain, creating different bezels, and ladies, please notice the herringbone, the twisted herringbone chain that goes on the back of the main part. Ginny says, "Whoa, Carol," and Lita says, "This takes my breath away." And indeed, a magnificent piece. Then we have here Kirsten, who recreated Veronika's I Do and made it into a very, very cute pendant. I love it that she used a pearl to hang it, and the O part of the toggle clasp can be used as the pendant holder. So I love it when the components are used in a little bit different way than what the manufacturer says that we need to use them for. And then we have here Caroline. And Caroline made a pair of bead embroidered earrings. And again, beautiful flowers growing out of the love garden. And here, what I would like to focus on is that Caroline selected the 3mm bugles to fill the petals and also to create the leaves of the flowers. She also framed the petals with the 3mm bugle beads. However, despite the size, the length of the bugle beads, this feels fully organic. So I personally sometimes have trouble to create something natural looking when I work with bigger beads, and Caroline did an amazing job with it. I also really admire her that she managed to create 2 identical bead embroidery pieces. Kudos to you, dear Caroline. Rita says, just exquisite. And Nancy says, very delicate and feminine. Sorry. And Sherry says, I love the earrings. Gorgeous. Anita says, wow, Caroline, these are amazing. And Angelina says, the embroidered flowers are incredible. All those bugles, yet so organic. And then we have here Anna. And this is again a mind-blowing piece. Anna's piece incorporates the hand-pressed cabochon in the middle, and then she created 5 wings, while each wing has a low-cut round cabochon in the middle, and then the gaps in between the kind of wings or petals, they are filled with more sparkle and even more intricate details. How Anna hanged the pendant is also super nice, and I really love these details when there is a part of peyote, like an arch above something. Ruxandra also does it sometimes. Zuzi started to do that. And also Anna incorporated it beautifully in her pendant. Arshika says, it's like a lace flower, gorgeous. Cindy says, oh my, Anna, this is absolutely stunning. Wow, this is so amazing, gorgeous. And Tammy says, I am totally overwhelmed by the amazing talent in this group. And Kim says, Anna, this is beautiful. I love how it has both structure and flow. And then we have here Jessica. Jessica also created a beautiful necklace using the historic filigree as the backdrop for her main bezel. I love the cluster of the glass pendant drops below the focal element. How, for me, it looks like grapes together. And then there are stars on the sky, the smaller elements floating above the focal. So beautifully done, Jessica. And then we have here Asta. Asta created also a bead embroidered piece consisting of different parts. And what a magnificent, if you notice, asymmetric piece. In the meantime, for Jessica, Beatrix says, Jessica, just gorgeous. Thank you so much for your kind words to Jessica Beatrix. Orshika loved the tiny stars on Jessica's piece. And Ginny is happy to see the filigree in Jessica's. Angelina says, Asta, this is above and beyond. And while, of course, the showstopper part of Asta's beautiful piece is the garden with the purple flowers and the hanging parts. And look at the triangle-shaped beads. Isn't it like as if it was taken straight out from Klimt's painting? So while that is definitely the showstopper, but then take the time, ladies, because there is so much more to see. There are the panels on the wings on the sides of the main part, and while one again represents the geometric, the masculine, the other one represents the flowy, the natural elements, and the feminine, how it is traditionally interpreted. But of course, both elements can have many different forms, and it's very important to find our way and to embrace it all. And Beatrix says, Asta, this is my absolute favorite. No words to describe the Klimt and Art Deco feeling you met. A really wonderful art piece. Orshika also says, I have no words. Wow, wow, wow. And Molly says, so much detail. Beautiful. And Nancy says, definitely a showstopper. And then we have here Paula. And Paula, again, I said in the beginning that I really admire beaders who can do organic and freeform pieces. And Paula is definitely one of them. She created peyote, many peyote tiny details, intertwining and playing with each other with a perfect balance of sparkle and matte and the perfect balance of light and darkness. They all belong to life, and in a juvo we can see the sparkle if there is a backdrop of matte better, and we can admire the golden shades when there is also something to contrast it. And Miriam says, wow. And Debbie says, amazing. Jessica expresses her enthusiasm with the smileys, and Beatrix says, Paula, this is also something special and beautiful. Angelina also finds it super cool. And Sandy says, dramatic yet classic. Indeed, I would totally wear it like every day. And then we have here Annika. And here, what I find interesting that we don't have the black. However, we have the green and the purple together, both from the painting, with lots of gold, with lots of pearly white and very light shades. So it's very interesting also to see, dear ladies, that when do we reach for balance, when do we reach for darker shades, and Annika here reached for softer, more gentle shades and shapes and created this beautiful pair of earring. I love the sparkle. Also, I admire the beautiful photo that she took of this piece. Jessica finds it adorable. Nancy says, so elegant. Debbie saying hello, by the way. Sophie says, such a dainty piece. And Cindy says, Aniko, this is beautiful. You used my favorite color. So gorgeous. By the way, Aniko and Aniko are both Hungarian names. We have a very beautifully growing Hungarian beading community now, also within the Beadingschool beading community. So Aniko and Aniko are two different names and very typical in Hungary. Just a side note. Loretta says, beautiful, I want to wear them. And then we have here Ariane. Ariane had a very nice approach of indeed creating another mini painting inspired by a painting. What else can you do than to create a painting, no matter if you wear it as a brooch, if you wear it as earrings, a necklace, a bracelet, or sometimes even use it as a fridge magnet, right? So Ariane, she wanted to include, as I can see, the whole painting, and we can distinctively see the two figures embracing each other. Flowers on the right side, baguettes and more geometric shapes on the left side. A wonderful detail is the garden at the bottom, the greenery full of flowers blooming. Orshika says, beautiful painting. And Jen says, wow, Ariana, I love this so much. Lutka finds it super cute, and Ginny says, Ariana loving this design. The background is so unexpected. Love the pop. And indeed, like the orange and the green is kind of unexpected, yet works so well together here. And then we have here Orshika. And Orshika created a pair of beautiful, dainty earrings. I would also love to wear this. I love the fringe from the fire polished beads, and in between the fire polished beads you see bugle beads. So again we have the matte and the sparkly alternating, while there is the eye-catching part with the low cut cabochon at the very top. Linda says, what a beautiful interpretation of the kiss. And indeed, ladies, everyone did so incredibly well. And now it's time to see who won the talent competition of this Beading School Academy mini challenge. We always select the talent winner together, where each of us has points to award together with my fellow Beading School creatives. So Susie, Aniko, Melinda, and Veronka. And now I would like to congratulate to Anna for creating this amazing, super highly detailed pendant. And I would like to also congratulate Asta for beading such an extraordinary piece that most of the responses I saw were like, I don't even have words. Lovely ladies, thank you so much for sharing your talent with the Beading School community. And now I invite you to select together the lucky winner of the Everlasting Kiss Beading School Academy mini challenge. We have 16 entries, so I invite you to tell me a number between 1 and 16. The first three numbers that I will see, I will count what is the average of those first three numbers, and then find in the album, in my album, that who corresponds to that number. The pictures are not in alphabetical orders. They are, today I arranged them by date opened by me, so it does not matter that if you are at the beginning of the alphabet or at the end, you might be in the very middle. So I see 5, 5, and 6 at the beginning. 5 from Erika, 5 from Jessica, and then 6 from Ginny. So it's easy because then it's 5, and the 5th is Terry. So Terry is the lucky winner of the Everlasting Kiss Beading School Academy mini challenge. I am grateful to each and every one of you who submitted a design, who shared something beautiful for the mini challenge. I'm also grateful to have spent this beautiful team and get inspired by this beautiful team together with you. And can't wait also to see how you will like the next one that we are going to unbox a week from now. But now, saying goodbye to the team also means top-up week. So, in a little bit more than a week, we will start sending you the new Beading School Academy theme boxes for January and February 2026. And one of the perks is that since shipping already needs to be included with your Academy box, then you can also top up your boxes and order whatever your heart desires from the Beading School Bead Shop, beadingschool.com. You can choose the join with order in progress option, and then we will pack everything together and send them to you in one box without having to pay for shipping again. It might happen that you will also receive your Advent goodies or part of your Advent goodies together with the box. Sending out the Advent goodies is a very long process. So, in some cases, you already have the boxes, you already have the Advent goodies, and some of them are flying to you through January. I will have for you, Miriam and everyone, as usually on Friday, some sneak peeks of what kind of shapes will you need. But until then, I would like to show you something very, very nice. One of the last jewels coming from the Everlasting Kiss Beading School Academy theme box. When we were talking to Ruxandra about her creation, then she was mesmerized by the possibility given by the historic filigree. And she created one of the most beautiful jewels that I have seen from her. She says about it, it's called Framed Kiss by Ruxandra, by the way. And Ruxi says, we put a frame around our most treasured memories, around our dear ones, around great works of art. Why not around the kiss? Seeing the amazing components included in this box, I felt it deserves the most special central place of a piece, becoming the meeting place of several curvy lines, as it is in life. It became the kiss, which deserves its own frame. So Ruxi's favorite was actually the star-shaped spacer, and she wanted to frame that. And this tutorial can be yours as a gift if between today's and next week's Coffee Time with Erika, you place an order in the Beading School Bead Shop in the value of at least €59, $69, or 51 English pounds. So this offer is valid from today's Coffee Time with Erika until next week, 13th of January 2026, 5 p.m. Central European Time, 11 a.m. New York City, 8 a.m. California, 5 a.m. New Zealand, Fay time. It's important that it needs to be one order, not the sum of several orders. And the sum should be the one that you are checking out with. The sum after gift cards or maybe coupon codes, the actual amount that you pay. And we will be in touch after this special offer has ended. It means on Wednesday, on the 14th of January, in an email. And well, how to make use of the top-up option and what to look out for if you would like to have something even more sparkly from the Beading School Bead Shop. I would like to show you the Labrador Preciosa collection. So just as the Autumn collection that we showed you during the Advent adventure, we also know that you happen to love cold metallic tones too. The Labrador selection, the silvery selection, at Preciosa is slightly smaller than the Autumn collection, but we did our best to collect for you everything that can be made by Preciosa in this sparkly, beautiful, neutral color. So this collection, it includes altogether 217 Preciosa crystals, 3mm bicones, 4 6mm bicones, round beads, faceted round beads in different sizes, chaton roses in different sizes, and even Preciosa chatons. And of course, if you go for it, then you will be able to get it for a better price than it would have been if you bought everything one by one. Talking about Preciosa, you might know by now that unfortunately all the rivolis from Preciosa will be or were actually discontinued. We can only get from them what is left in their stock, but no more will be produced. So to supply you well with Preciosa rivolis, we went through these stocks of the whole Preciosa warehouse, and besides restocking everything what we could, we also found some new goodies for you that were not available before because they were not part, they were never part of the ordinary production. And I would like to direct your attention to the 12mm Preciosa rivolis in the burgundy color. I have never seen them before, and we just found them now when we went through in between preparing for the Advent days. We also went through some very, very long sheets of of Preciosa stock. So when I saw burgundy, I knew that we need to have it. We also added some 10mm rivolis in new colors, but this is my absolute favorite. And there are not like incredibly many of these, so think it through very well how you would like to stock up from the rivolis. Yesterday, since it was the first Monday of the month, then we also got to release the January Juvo from the new Beaders calendar, the very first Juvo from the 2026 edition. If you don't have the calendar yet, then at the moment we have only around 40 pieces left, so don't hesitate long. And the calendar itself, it includes all the 12 tutorials that will be released one by one through the new year. So if you have the calendar already, first you need to check out with the calendar. Then you can go back and download the first calendar Juvo already. It is made by lovely Chloe of Pink Hot Juvels, and it's called the Queen of Frost and Starlight Necklace. She says, like starlight frozen in crystal, this necklace tells a story of winter nights and shimmering skies. The necklace features rivolis in multiple sizes, carefully connected and embellished with star cabochons, bicone beads, and soft round pearls. A jewel that radiates sophistication, light, and regal presence. The design balances structure and sparkle, bringing refined luxury to classic, timeless forms. There are also 3 different bundles available for this jewel. I'm very much in love with the original silvery and turquoise one, but for those of you who love warmer tones, then there is also the one that is featured in the little icon. I will try to show it to you in a bigger version so you see it better. So this is like a more passionate, romantic variation. And lovely ladies, I left the best to the very end because I have something incredible for you. So ladies, during the past few months, you started to love the new hand-pressed glass cabochons that we found in Germany very, very much. We introduced to you the star bloom pattern when we were opening Donna's beautiful box, and also Juliana created a design for you. We had back then a few colors of the star bloom glass cabochons available. However, I had a feeling that we need more of them, more shades of blue, especially this amazing aquamarine opal, but also more shades of red, green, even a turquoise one. And also watch out for the antique rose and the topaz opal because they are absolutely incredible. Usually I don't often reach for brown, but topaz opal came out so amazingly that I love it very, very much. Anna is already shouting opal. Miriam is asking who dived into these lovely things at Preciosa. And Martika says congratulations to the winners. So lovely ladies, this week, by the way, we will have an offline No One Has to Bead Alone. The full week is dedicated to Ruxandra's designs. So besides the option to get her amazing framed kiss as a gift with your orders, we will also share a smaller Ruxandra design that she created from the box on Thursday for No One Has to Bead Alone. I am actually traveling to Prague and then to visit the treasury and my family in Slovakia on Thursday. So that's why I am not able to bead with you. However, we never leave you without inspiration. So on Thursday, we will publish a tutorial from Ruxandra. And then next week, on Tuesday, I will be saying hi to each and every one of you from the Beading School Treasury from Slovakia. And I can't wait to also hug there, everyone. Lovely ladies, do you have any questions left or anything that you would like to add? I would also like to congratulate the winners once again, Anna and Asta. Thank you so much, ladies, for spending this short hour with me. I can't wait to see more of your creations. Thank you so much for contributing to the community. Thank you so much for trusting us with your precious bead orders, and wishing you lots of creativity in the club. Take good care of yourselves and your loved ones. Bye-bye.